Hey everybody, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to do 2 more stash projects based off of Ali Edwards' stash class. And if you watch the other 2 videos, you know that I have items on trays that I want to use first. And in this video, these 2 projects are actually using 2 journaling cards that I was so stumped on how to use. So I'm so excited that I figured out a way to use these 2 journaling cards. This first one had these really tiny squares, and I had no idea what to do with this card. It said "for the love," and I was like, what am I going to do with this? Things are so tiny. And then I thought about the fact that I love doing intro pages for my Me albums. So I went ahead and measured out this box digitally, and it's about 1 1/4 inch square. And then I just picked a bunch of random photos from February, little photos that I knew that I probably wouldn't document a separate page, and went ahead and cut those out with my Cameo. And I love how it turned out. Turned out so cute. Again, very tiny photos, but I love it. And I also took the February and I printed that out on my Cameo, and then printed it twice, cut it twice, so that way I could have a layered title. And then I still have the second piece, the "for the love," and I think I'm going to put that below the February or above. I just haven't decided. And you can see here, this is kind of where I decided to put "for the love." That way it's kind of a stacked title, if you will. I also knew, or I saw, that the "for the love" piece had multiple colors in it, so I wanted to bring that in a little bit, bring in more colors. So what I decided to do was get out the vellum and punch some shapes from the yellow piece that I have and also the pink piece, and just add those to the corner of the collage. So far, absolutely loving this. It's looking very good. Now, the "for the love" card had one little piece down at the bottom that said the details, and I did trim that, and I'm going to save that to use that later on. I also want to fill in the extra squares with some stamped phrases. I didn't really want to try word phrase stickers because I don't think I had any shades of colors that worked well, but you know me, I love going for the stamps. Anytime I can use stamps, I will use stamps. Now for the photos, I picked a photo of me in like a Valentine's Day book shirt, decorating my bag at school with the kids, finding a heart in nature, enjoying some relaxing time, and taking a photo of a blooming peach blossom, and also the best photo, a Target cart full of some good stuff. I also switched one of the photos to go to the top. That way I had the empty spaces were better positioned where they were going to be. I didn't want to have 2 empty spots in one row. So that way they're just evenly spaced. I took the details and I went ahead and added that to one of the boxes, and that turned out awesome. Grabbed a bunch of stamps and stamped some phrases that would work perfectly for the month of February. So I have one that says "more love, more empathy, more kindness." Below the piece that I saved, the details, I put "loving." And then in the top box, I have "in this season," stamped it twice, and then did an XO. Now the next thing that I wanted to do to kind of emphasize the circles that I have going and also add more movement is to add this XO circle, but I had to get out my StazOn ink because I knew I was stamping on vellum and I didn't want it to smear. And I was okay that it was a very faint stamp impression. It was just perfect for what I needed it to be. And this will go in my 2024 album, which I have barely started on this year, but that's okay. I'm a person who does not mind being a year behind, but I love how that project turned out. It turned out fantastic. Okay, so the other little pieces that I had pulled together was a card from the Happy Kit that said 1 through 6, and also a chipboard that matched that. And then once I was looking at this project, I decided to pull this paper that came in the kit and also some flowers. And again, it took me a really long time to figure out what kind of project could go with this. I originally thought I'd do a workout photo of me, but splitting this card in half to fit the size of my current me album, I just didn't like the look of it. I finally, did some more digging, and I really loved the photos of my daughter and her best friend, and their bathing suits and the whole summer feel worked really well for these various products. I still didn't know what in the world to do with this paper. I didn't know if I should tear a portion and leave that on the journaling card, so that way I could incorporate more of those colors. I didn't know if I should punch shapes. I didn't know what in the world to do with this paper, but in the end, I guess I went with my go-to, or maybe my safe option. I don't know. I just went with circles and punching shapes. That's what I love to do, and that's what I decided to do. And it comes out to be like a column of circles, and I don't know if I like it in the end, but because it's kind of different, and I did one circle and then one off to the side, and then a felt flower, and then another circle. So it's kind of different than I normally do, but I'm just excited to not only be documenting my daughter and her birthday last year, but also to be using this card, like I said. So I pulled out a bunch of stamps. I have this one from the Week in the Life release, and I pulled out Me plus You, and I also had Celebrating. So when you read it, it looked like it was spelling out celebrating me and you, and that's not what I wanted it to say, because we weren't celebrating both girls. We were celebrating my daughter's birthday, and I don't know. I didn't want that title. So I'm going to switch it up to something a little bit different. This is where I adhere all of the different shapes that bring in all the colors from their bathing suits, and like I said, helps me to use this paper. Sometimes with these large papers that come in the kits, I'm like, I don't know what to do with these. I suppose if you had a photo and put a white border around it, that would work to put over the paper. But I just didn't have any photos that called out to me about that paper. Anyways, I need to stop obsessing about the paper. But I decided to stamp So Happy and also stamp Celebrating. I just wanted to test it out to see if it was the right shade of blue that I was looking for. It was, so I stamped it twice. I'm also going to stamp Birthday Magic in orange, since there is orange in my daughter's top, and the birthday sentiments come from the birthday story kit stamp. There's also a cluster of dots in that story stamp, so I'm going to use that to sprinkle some orange dots around, which that I love. And I also tried stamping on chipboard with that blue piece. I stamped Happy Day, and I love how that turned out. I am also going to make that a floating pocket as well, so that way I have a floating embellishment with the flower and also the chipboard. I just didn't want to put it on white cardstock. I felt like I already had white cardstock over on the left-hand side, so just having it floating is a really great option. And you know what? It kind of goes with the theme of water. So I am currently wrestling with these felt flowers, trying to get the adhesive to peel off the red line tape. I mean, it's a knockoff version, but you know what I mean. I was having such a hard time getting the adhesive off. I finally got it off. And what I do to kind of secure this cluster together is I take a piece of laminated leftover scrap paper. I've run it through my laminator and it's leftover, and I just put everything and adhere it right on top of that. And then I will go ahead and start my journaling card. My daughter wasn't home, so I wanted to have her input, so I only filled in 3 of the boxes. And I just said that my daughter was very excited to go to the water park to celebrate with her friend. They went for nearly, I think, 4 hours nonstop going on slides. They did take a break for pizza and ice cream for dessert. And while I was waiting for my daughter to be around so that way she could help me finish the journaling card, I went to the back side of this insert where I just picked 2 photos of my daughter and her friend exchanging gifts. Her best friend gave her a necklace, and it was just so sweet. I especially love the top photo that I got. I'm sure now, a year later, and possibly going forward, they're probably going to be embarrassed by these photos. You know, we're moving into the preteen times, but I loved these photos, and I had to just do a little simple page to document, you know, the other part of this day. So on the back of the chipboard, I adhered some white paper and then just cut out, you know, cut off the excess. I also stamped some of the dots in orange again and added a scallop circle to where the felt flower is on the front side. I also had decided that I had 1 blue felt flower left, but I didn't want to add a really thick embellishment to the 4x6 photo. So I went ahead and just stamped that sentiment that says happy story and punched a 2-inch circle and added that to the 4x6 photo. That way I'm still bringing in pieces from the other side of the page protector and just, again, keeping it very simple. I stamped the sentiment love up at the top and wrote a short description on what was going on in the photos and wrote very, very crooked. This is why a lot of the times I draw some lines to help guide me, but I did not this time. I'm just adding a few chipboard hearts. The only bummer was that I had no orange, but it still turned out to be a very cute, simple way to document the exchanging of the friendship bracelets. So you can see here my daughter was kind of pointing out things and reading what I had already written. And she helped me add in that they went on the quote-unquote scariest ride, Stealth, for the first time. And like in between rides, they would go on the lazy river. And then my daughter just said she just loved her 10th birthday celebration. So I was very thankful that my daughter was able to help me finish up the journaling. So that is 2 more stash projects for a total of 5 stash projects using the bridge system. So now at this point, I have a few trays left, and I'm gonna go through them and see if I can find some more projects, and then I will refill the trays as needed. So I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing these 2 projects, and have a great day.